In the following audio clip, the late Derek Prince reveals how he got demonized as a child from as little as 2 years old. Were you aware of this? Derek demonized? This might be shocking to you, but let's give him a listen.
Now, when I look back on my own life, and I'm older than some of you, I won't even tell you how much older. I realized that by the time I was 9 years old, the devil had got a lot of his bad spirits into me. I didn't know what they were. I'll tell you something. I was a little bit of a lonely child. I had no brothers or sisters. I was quite clever with my brain. I was always good at class. Could do my lesson, get good grades. And I got a little bit shut off from other people, and I would spend hours talking to myself. You ever do that? And I would always talk to myself in the plural. Shall we do this? Shall we do that? Shall we go here? And I realized many years later, that was bad spirits in me talking to one another. There was a kind of parliament going on inside me.
Just on a side note, the reason behind talking to himself in the plural is because he had demons inside of him, which are multiple personalities, demonic personalities.
I had bad spirits in me from the age of 2. I was born in India. I'll tell you a little bit about myself. And my mother and my father were good people, but they didn't have much time for me. And so my mother handed me over to an Indian woman. They called them an ayah in India. And this woman was a Hindu. She wasn't Christian. And I had much more to do with this woman when I was a little baby than with my mother or father. Now, the Hindus in India, they worship devils, idols. And the whole of India is just full of demons.
As Christian parents, we should be discernful and careful about the locations to where we send our children. We should make spiritual decisions that will benefit them. For in this example, from childhood, Derek got exposed to people who were into demons or under the influence.
And there's no doubt in my mind that before I was 2 years old, that woman had got a lot of those Indian demons into me. You say it isn't fair, but the devil isn't fair. Now, one of my big problems in life has always been getting angry, because none of you ever have that problem, do you? You do. And I wrestled with this for years. And then when I became a Christian, after a while, God showed me when this problem started. And in a way that only God can do, he took me back in my mind, step by step, right to the time when I was a very small boy. I was 2 years old, and I was sitting at a table in the dining room of our home in India, eating a melon. Now, for some strange reason, my father, and he was really a good man in many ways, thought it was a good thing to tease little boys. See, I think he thought we ought to get tough young, you know? And so this time he deliberately teased me. And he said something to me to distract my attention, turn me away, and when I wasn't looking, he took my melon. Well, I turned round and my melon wasn't there, and I got violently angry. And in those days I could speak Hindustani just as well as I could speak English. And I got mad with all the Indian servants and scolded them in Hindustani. But they hadn't taken my melon. Now, the whole family always remember that incident because of the way I scolded the Indian servants. But when I look back, I realized that at that moment, the demon of anger entered me. And from then on, one of the pressures in my life was anger. Now, I'm telling you things I don't often tell in public because I hope it'll help you. From then on, I'm sure other spirits entered, and I'm not going to tell you all of them. But when I was about 12 years old, I was at a boarding school in England, and I was playing with a football, and another boy took the football from me. You've never had that happen, I'm sure. And I got so angry with that boy, they had to hold my arms down. I would have killed him if I could. And you know the demon that entered then? Murder. Now, I've never murdered anybody, thank God. But the Bible says if you hate your brother in your heart, you are a murderer already. So I know from personal experience, also from helping many others, that little boys and girls, 2 and 3 and upwards, especially if their parents are not good Christian, can easily have these bad spirits enter them. Now, your parents may be Christian, they may be Baptist, but shall I tell you something about Baptists? They sometimes quarrel and fight amongst themselves. Did you know that? And if our parents quarrel and fight, something comes into that home which makes these evil spirits feel welcome. And there's nothing that attracts evil spirits so quickly as parents quarreling and arguing and fussing with one another, though they may be good Baptists or Roman Catholics.
Yeah, just coming in here, a lot has been said. One of the things that as I listen, came to me that the necessity of just watching over our children and especially being careful concerning who you allow your children to get in contact with. So here, Derek Prince, even from the age of 2 years old, he got certain spirits. We will say possessed. But the thing is that many times we talk about possession or demonization. We have this idea of Hollywood and the television, what television shows us, but that's not possession. Maybe it's just a small bit, but more it's taken to a whole another level. But we see from 2 years old to 9 years old, even to about 12 years old, Derek Prince got or experienced being demonized, where evil spirits got into him. Now, something interesting that I have noticed is this can happen whether you are a child or whether you are an adult. And there's a connection between possession or the entrance of a demon into your body, and the chemicals in your body. That chemicals in your body. For example, Derek Prince talked about getting angry. When you are angry, there are certain chemicals in your body that is heightened. And that quick spark of and heightening of and increase of that certain chemicals in your body opens a portal for demons to enter you. That's why an environment of chaos is an environment for demons to enter. Demons cannot enter an environment of peace. Of peace and calmness. Calmness of your spirit. Peace, a peaceable spirit, doesn't enter such an environment. And that's why even when we start to praise and worship, we are calm. And that acts as a repellent to demons. But yeah, I just wanted to come in and give you guys a listen to how Derek Prince shared himself, how he was quote unquote possessed. And I say quote unquote possessed by demons because the demons don't actually possess you. They're just entering in a certain path of you for your body. They do not possess your body. They do not possess your soul. They do not possess your spirit. But we will leave much explanation in other videos. Thank you for listening from my side. Shalom. Hope you enjoyed this content. And if you have not already done so, support me by subscribing, liking, and leave a comment. If you have certain experiences of being possessed as a child, feel free to leave a comment. And if you are in need of prayer, feel free. And then we will pray for you. Shalom.